Our office recently called for another COVID relief package because what we're hearing on the ground is that families, particularly single moms, continue to struggle and recover from the impact of COVID. We've always pushed to make sure undocumented immigrants were a part of that conversation so that they can get the resources they need to support their children who are going to our public schools and to support the economy overall. Another part of that focus is not just getting people economically back onto their feet, but also dealing with the psychosocial and mental health challenges that so many are enduring during this pandemic. We're seeing a rise in domestic violence. We're seeing a rise in self-harm amongst our children. We're seeing a rise in hospital visits, emergency room visits, because children are dealing with suicidal ideation. We opened up the schools, but we didn't have a mental health safety net for kids to receive once they entered back into the schools. So we saw a rise in violence as a result of that. This is obviously an unprecedented time. The trauma of 4 years from the previous president, the trauma of the big lie, the trauma of the January 6th insurrection, and the trauma of a global pandemic that's killed well over 800,000 people. So a new COVID relief package is necessary, but rooted in the grassroots, rooted in working people, and rooted in the bottom up, and really getting boots on the ground, resources to the most vulnerable communities so that people can survive and endure this. In addition to that, we need a federal jobs guarantee. And we've needed a federal jobs guarantee for a very long time. We should not accept unemployment at 3%, 4%, 7%. There should be no unemployment in our country. We are the wealthiest nation on earth. We need to redesign our economy so that wealth is not continually concentrated in the hands of a few, but everyone gets to share equitably in the wealth. Federal jobs guarantee, $15 minimum wage, prevailing wage for all workers, and more equity in terms of worker pay and CEO pay. Because we are living during the time of the Gilded Age, right? Like wealth inequality is so bad, as bad as the Gilded Age. You cannot have a democracy with this level of equality. And that's why I continue to talk about equity, equity, equity. Without economic equity, we do not have a democracy. So a federal jobs guarantee is critical. Finally, and as a former educator, I constantly talk about this, we need alignment between what kids are learning in our K-12 schools and the challenges of our current economy. How are our kids graduating from high school ready to tackle the issue of climate change? How are kids graduating from high school ready to tackle the issue of mass incarceration, the issue of healthcare costs, the issue of housing as a commodity, food insecurity, all of the issues that have plagued us for so long? How are we preparing kids in our K-12 system to think and create and interact differently and critically with the environment around them and with challenges that we have now that we've never had before? And how do we prepare them to create a new world that, where they can think of questions and answers to things we haven't even conceived of yet? That's the kind of critical creative thinking and critical creative problem solving that's needed. And that's going to help us evolve to a multi-racial democracy and evolve from the rabid, toxic competition that is literally killing us and killing the planet to the global cooperation that we need, which will deal with the issue of militarism, over-militarism, deal with the issue of democracy reform, which is what Mr. Raskin spoke about, deal with the issue of xenophobia and all the things that got us at each other's throats, ready to fight and kill each other for scarce resources. And what we've learned and what research has shown is this is an abundant world. And if we take care of it and each other, there's more than enough to go around. So it's multi-step, multi-layered, completely doable. And guess what? The American people are ready, willing, and able and waiting for us to do this in support of them because they voted us into office to get this work done.